Story 1. Am I the asshole for refusing to drop my ex-husband's last name? I, 56F, divorced my husband 2 years ago after 26 years of marriage. We have 4 kids, and the split was amicable. He came out as gay, and we mutually agreed to part ways. Changing my name wasn't a priority. Updating IDs, legal documents, and bank accounts would be a huge hassle. I still use his last name on official documents but go by my maiden name socially. Recently, he got engaged to a wonderful guy. I've been supportive of their relationship, but during my grandson's birthday party, my ex suddenly asked if I'd consider dropping his last name. His fiancée chimed in, saying it makes him uncomfortable that I still use it. I was caught off guard and awkwardly joked that unless they want to spend hours in lines at various government offices, I wasn't going to change it. My ex didn't laugh. He insisted it's about starting a new chapter and wants me to move on. The whole situation felt bizarre. For 2 years, it's never been an issue, and now they're ganging up on me? After the party, my ex called and argued that keeping his name makes it hard for his fiancée to feel like they're starting a fresh life. I countered that our kids still use the same name, and it would feel strange for me to be the odd one out. What really hurt was learning from my youngest son that his fiancée feels threatened by my name, assuming I'm clinging to some claim on my ex. I've made it clear I have zero interest in rekindling anything, but it feels like I'm being pressured to erase a part of my identity. My ex admitted his fiancée is uncomfortable because he sees me keeping the name as a power play. I feel like I'm caught between trying to keep peace and being forced into something just because his fiancée is insecure. They want me to go through the hassle of changing everything for their comfort. I told my ex that I'll consider it later, maybe after they're married and settled. But now, he's furious, saying I'm being petty and selfish. My friends think I should stand my ground, but my kids are divided. One thinks I should just give in to keep the peace, while the other agrees that it's ridiculous to change it just because his fiancée feels insecure. I'm frustrated. I don't see why a name on some legal documents is such a big deal, but they're making me feel like the villain. So, Ida for refusing to drop my ex-husband's last name even though he's getting remarried?
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 2. Aita for reminding my ex I'm only responsible for our children and not all of his kids.
My ex-husband, 40M, and I, 35F, have 2 children together, 12, 11M. We divorced about 10 years ago now because I feel like he regressed as a husband and a father during my second pregnancy, and he was even worse when our younger son was born. He was acting like a high school or college kid or a single 20-something with no kids. He spent more time with friends than with us. His friends were also treating me more like his mom and expecting me to pick him up from their houses when they needed to get on with stuff. He fought for 50% custody of our kids, which he wasn't given, and for the first 2 or 3 years he had every other weekend and a 2-week period during the summer with them as well as alternating holidays. He started being more involved, and eventually he did get 50% custody. It was at that time I found out he got some woman pregnant, and he realized with 3 kids he needed to get his act together. He ended up with full custody of his 3rd child. Then he met his wife. They have 2 more children together now. There are 2 kids in her life, but I don't believe they're her biological children anyway, who she is also partially supporting. Those 2 kids don't live with them, but apparently they pay for stuff for this child. X and I started getting along better, but then his marriage was rocky. As his marriage worsened, he started treating me like a co-parent to all his kids. He'd bring his other children to custody exchanges and expecting interactions between me and his other children. Then it was requests to babysit for him and his wife, which I never did. Then it was comments about our boys' old clothes at my house being sent to his house for his other kids, and how we needed to make sure they had adequate clothing. I told him there was no we in that, and he said, of course there is. We're co-parents. I said of our 2, sure, but not his other kids. It was requests for me to have his children in my home or to take them out to eat with me and our kids. And finally, it has turned into back-to-school craziness. I bought supplies for the boys, and he told me I hadn't bought nearly enough for everyone. I was like, hold up, what's that supposed to mean? And he pointed out that what I bought wouldn't be possible to share evenly between all 5 children. I told him we don't have 5 children, we have 2, the 2 I bought those for. I told him I am responsible for our children, not his 3 others. I told him he has a wife, they share 2 of those children, the other is in their home, so it's up to them. He told me that I know they don't have a lot of money, and I cut him off and told him that still didn't make his children my problem. He said I can't possibly take care of just 2 of them, Not when we're co-parenting and all 5 kids live together 50% of the time. He said I should be a part of the community to help raise these kids, and keeping my distance like I do is so dang cold. Ida?
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 3. Aita. For laughing at my ex's mother and telling her how much child support I've been receiving, my ex and I parted ways back in 2023. Ever since it happened, the communication with him and his family has been rocky. He was not interested in providing for our child, 6, and I had to apply for child maintenance. He's in debt with them, circa 1.3 thousand pounds, and has only paid about 120 pounds in total. I've not been on good terms with his parents. Amongst other things, they asked me not to apply for child maintenance, etc., as their boy cannot afford it, and so on. So you could say we're not the best of friends. Here's where the problem started. They recently found out about quite a few concerts I'm planning to go to. Yes, I'd posted about it on SM, but they have no access to my accounts. I don't know how exactly they found that info. Recently, during child drop-off, my ex's mother got very upset about the concert mumbo-jumbo and started telling me off for making my ex pay child support I just waste on myself and so on. I couldn't hold it in and just started laughing, which aggravated her even more. When she stopped ranting and I stopped giggling, I told her that her son's child support wouldn't even cover the travel cost of the trip, and they can rest assured that I don't live off of his child support given, that I wouldn't be able to raise my child on that amount, let alone the both of us. I should have stopped there, but I also added that so far we've received approximately £10/month note. I said that without doing the math, truthfully it's £11.09 LOL, which doesn't even cover the cost of fruit my child eats, so neither of them has any say in how I spend my own money. Note, I'm not sure if it matters, but yes, I work full-time, so I spend my earned money. She called me a liar and stormed off. Now their whole family are upset with me, saying that I was rude and they expect apologies. I was also told that I was an asshole for telling them how much I actually receive, as it's put my ex in a bad light. My friends are divided too. Some found the situation hilarious, and others say that while it was fair to stand up for myself, I shouldn't have told her how much I get in child maintenance. In my defense, I had no idea it was such a big secret. I genuinely assumed she just didn't care about the amount, and just focused on the idea of me getting any money from them. Also, it's worth noting, my child didn't witness this interaction. She was already indoors. I'm sure it would have gone differently. I would have stopped the rant sooner, with the kid present. So, Aida for laughing and telling her how much child maintenance I've been receiving?
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 4. AIT for telling my husband's ex that I must have been the favorite girlfriend since he married me. Okay, so my 40F husband, 40M, have been off and on since we were 12, broke up at 22, took a 17-year break, and got together 3 years ago, and have been married for a little over 2. He spent almost 3 years with an ex, and they broke up about 10 years ago. The ex, who I will call Patty, and my husband Doug broke up on good terms, and she will reach out here and there to say happy birthday, Merry Christmas, and she reached out when she heard we were getting married and gave us her congratulations. Saturday night, we went to the local bar, and she happened to be there, and we all sat together drinking, talking, and just hanging out. I was 3 Jack and Cokes in, and I cannot remember how it got brought up, but Patty at one point said, "Well, at least I will always be your favorite girlfriend." I laughed and said, "Wouldn't I be his favorite girlfriend since I'm the one he married?" She stopped smiling and just looked at me. She finished her drink and left not long after that. Last night, Doug got a long message from Patty saying she was really shocked at how jealous, immature, petty, and mean I am given my age, and that I should be more secure in our marriage and in myself, and that it's okay for Doug to care about others besides just me. She also told him how much him telling her she was his favorite girlfriend all those years ago had always meant to her, and can't understand why I had to shit on it. Doug told her he was sorry what I said upset her, but that I was just saying a fact. I was the favorite girlfriend, and that's a huge reason he married me. She sent back another long text saying, I just think I'm better than her because Doug had a very firm stand that he would never marry. He didn't care if he had a gun to his head, it wouldn't happen. When we reconnected this time, he asked me to marry him after a month, and we married after 8.5 months. Doug told her that it wasn't true. I don't think I'm better than anyone, and said again he was sorry she was hurt, but that I said nothing wrong, Told her the things she was saying about me aren't true and not to speak about me like that again. I truly never in a million years would want to hurt anyone's feelings. I said I was his favorite because I feel like you marry your favorite person, don't you? Why would you marry someone who isn't your favorite? So, am I the asshole here? Doug told me it's not in any way on me that she got hurt. My best friend said that I didn't say anything that wasn't true and thinks maybe Patty is going through some stuff or just went through a breakup and is just taking it out on me. Update. Thank you everyone who commented on my post first to answer a few things I saw a lot. We are not friends with Patty. She is not in our friend group or circle, and it was the first and only time I ever even met her. We decided to go to the bar that night to help raise some money for a family, and she happened to be there. She came over and started talking and sat down. Yes, we do live in a small rural area as we live in the same county, but we are at the edge and she lives about 45 minutes away from us, so we never shop or anything in the same places. So it really was just weird luck we were at the same place. I didn't think it mattered, but it was brought up a lot. The 17-year gap in us being together is because that's how long I was with my ex-husband. People saying Doug was going to leave me again? If you think a 42-year-old man acts the same in marriage as he did in a relationship in high school as a teen, you should talk to a professional of some kind because, trust me, good men don't act the same as a teenage boy. Why do I care? My ex-husband was abusive. Everything was my fault. Everything I did or said was wrong no matter what. Even when I'd agree that I was at fault, it would all be flipped on me. With help, I am so much better than I was 3 years ago. One of the many horrible things my ex loved to tell me was that I just think things aren't my fault when actually I'm a horrible person. When you aren't used to talking back, it can fuck with you from time to time. Old me would have never said a word to Patty. Okay, so the update? As many of you guessed, Patty was hung up on Doug saying he'd never marry, then married me. A few days after my post when he got home, he showed me Patty had messaged him saying she was sorry, and she asked him, why wasn't marriage an option with me, but it was the only one with her? Was I that bad? He told her that him marrying me had nothing to do with her. He didn't marry her or anyone else because simply they weren't me, that it was only ever going to be me. And he reminded her she also said she didn't want to get married and he was upfront from the very beginning. She responded with, well, it's not like I had any other option. You didn't give me any choice. He said a few things about that being bullshit, told her to get some therapy, then he blocked her. She only ever messaged him through Facebook. She hasn't had his number since he changed it right after their breakup. Doug then got on my Facebook and blocked her just in case she gets in her feelings again. Doug apologized to me and is also proud of me for saying something back to her. So thanks everyone for helping me feel better.
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below. Subscribe for more interesting stories.